Welcome back. Today we're taking a deep dive into the Lake Whatcom Railway. It's quite something, really preserves that post-World War II Northern Pacific feel.
It does. Frank Culp founded it decades ago, a real passion project.
Absolutely. But its legacy is, well, it's shaky right now. So our goal today is a kind of hard-knuckle roadmap to secure its future.
It needs one. It's facing what you might call a triple threat.
Uncle threat. Okay, break that down.
Well, first, there's this huge legal vulnerability. Frank Culp's heirs, they apparently intend to sell his half of it. That's, potentially existential.
Right, losing half the ownership. That's major. What's number two?
Just crippling deferred maintenance. I mean, the physical state of the railway, we've confirmed they need at least 3,000 feet of track repair, minimum.
3,000 feet. Wow. Okay, and the third threat?
Regulatory hurdles. Getting permission just to start running again. They've been shut down since, 2019? So restarting isn't simple.
Okay, legal issues, massive repairs, regulations, and the price tag to fix the infrastructure. The sources we looked at mentioned over $250,000.
Yeah, easily. At least $252,750. That seems to be the baseline estimate.
Now, Frank Culp, he apparently favored these very historical, manual repair methods.
Mm-hmm.
How can that possibly scale to meet a $250,000 need?
It can't. I mean, that's the tough reality. That romantic, hands-on approach, it's just way too slow and frankly too expensive given the urgency and the scale here.
So what's the first step then? Legally, financially?
Legally, absolutely first. You have to secure the asset itself, take it out of, let's say, the personal estate equation.
How do you do that?
Two things. First, set up a 501c3 nonprofit. That's pretty standard, lets you go after federal grants and such.
Right, the nonprofit structure. Okay.
But the real powerhouse move here, the thing that provides a permanent lock, is imposing a perpetual preservation easement.
A perpetual preservation easement.
Mm.
That sounds, well, powerful. What does it actually do on the ground?
Think of it like a legal steel cage built around the railway. It's a binding legal agreement.
Binding on who?
On every single owner from that point forward, forever. It legally prevents anyone, even if a private owner buys it later, from just, liquidating the assets, selling the rails for scrap. Off the table. Indefinitely.
Wow. Okay, so that secures the line itself, but then there's still the $250,000 in repairs needed just to run trains, right? The safety stuff.
Exactly. Once the line is legally secure, you pivot to the physical reality. And that money, the $252,750 plus, it's not optional. It's for mandatory safety work required by the FRA.
The Federal Railroad Administration.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are they demanding specifically?
It's pretty extensive, track resurfacing, replacing a lot of ties, and critically converting the rolling stock's bearings.
Bearings.
Yeah, they have these old friction bearings on, they estimate, about 30 axles. These are, they're obsolete technology, a significant fire risk. The FRA mandates upgrading to modern roller bearings. No negotiation there.
And because they've been shut down.
Right, because service lapsed, the FRA basically treats this like starting a new railway. They have to submit a whole written safety management system. It's a big lift.
That is a staggering amount of work and money. If the old ways, the historical operations, can't generate that kind of cash, where does it come from?
You need a different engine, a high-velocity revenue stream. And this is where it gets really interesting, the adaptive reuse angle.
Ah, right. Using the railway for something else to fund the core mission.
Yeah.
And the specific plan involves an entity called K90rbit.
Exactly, K90rbit. They do music, DJs, but also canine training. It sounds unusual, but think about it as adaptive reuse in action.
Taking an underused asset, the railway, and making it a venue.
Precisely. Turning it into a venue to generate that capital, and fast. K90rbit brings something huge to the table, an instant audience.
Instant audience. How?
Their track record, they've had events the numbers are huge. One past event apparently had 6 million attendees and over 1 million podcast followers. This solves the railway's, empty seats problem almost overnight.
Okay, so K90rbit gets access, the railway gets revenue and audience. What are the terms?
It seems pretty strategic. K90rbit gets exclusive use just 4 times a year. But importantly, they pay for essential security upgrades.
Security. Why is that needed?
The sources mention path security issues, so K90rbit funds a full lock and key replacement across the property. That's practical, immediate value.
And there's another angle too, right? The K9 part?
Yes, the K90rbit Search and Rescue SAR component, blending the entertainment with SAR training or demonstrations, positions the railway differently.
How so?
It makes the LWRR look like an indispensable public safety asset, not just an old train line. That's smart positioning. It could really help mitigate the inevitable, not in my backyard or NMBA opposition you often see.
That is clever, turning a potential negative into a community positive. Is there any plan for immediate cash even before the events?
Yeah, there's a mention of a quick capital mechanism, a 50-50 profit split on marketable timber.
Timber. From where?
Processed from the railway's own right-of-way, clearing the line, basically. And the crucial part, the railway share goes exclusively to track maintenance. Earmarked.
Okay, that makes sense. So let's synthesize this for the listener.
Yeah.
If you're trying to save the LWRR, what's the immediate game plan?
It's really a dual focus, right? Immediate actions first. Legal lockdown. Use that perpetual preservation easement to secure the rail line forever. Make it untouchable.
Step 1, save the line itself legally.
Step 2, fund the fixes. Leverage that adaptive reuse model, the K90rbit partnership, to generate the $250,000+ needed fast. That money has to go straight into meeting those mandatory FRA safety and infrastructure requirements.
Get the money, fix the tracks, satisfy the regulators.
That's the core plan. Secure it, then fund it.
All right. And to wrap up, here's something provocative for you to think about. Spinning out of this unique mix of historic rail and, well, modern event noise.
Oh.
The state of Washington, through the Department of Ecology, regulates noise from events pretty strictly. But interestingly, noise from regular traffic and, crucially, trains is generally exempt from those same local noise ordinances.
Ah, I see where you're going.
So the question is, when you're using concert revenue, which is regulated for noise, specifically to fund the operation of a train, which isn't regulated the same way for noise, where does that regulatory line get drawn? How does a historical preservation mission balance its need for event funding against local noise concerns?
That's a fascinating conflict, yeah. How noise is categorized could become a real issue.
Something for them, and maybe for you, to mull over as things move forward.